Former Indonesian President Megawati Soekarno-Putri receives Timor-Leste's highest honor on historic visit. Dili Kuya community calls for courage at this year's Pride March. Largest youth football tournament in the Southern Hemisphere delivers economic boost to Canberra, Australia. Welcome back to RTTL World News. I'm Zeri Madeira. Last week, Indonesia's former President Megawati Soekarno-Putri visited Timor-Leste for the second time to receive the country's highest honor from President Jose Ramos Horta. Megawati's first visit to Timor-Leste was as the fifth president of the Republic of Indonesia to witness the restoration of independence on May 20, 2002.
A warm welcome as former Indonesian President Megawati Soekarno-Putri steps off the plane. On the tarmac, President Jose Ramos Horta and Prime Minister Sanana Gusmão wait to greet her themselves, a moment carried by handshakes and notes of deep history. It's the second visit of the chairperson of Indonesia's Democratic Party of Struggle to Timor-Leste. The next day, the woman widely known as Ibu Megawati met with President Jose Ramos Horta at the presidential palace. There, she was awarded the country's highest civilian honor, the Grand Collar of the Order of Timor-Leste.
The Order of Timor-Leste that we confer upon you today symbolizes precisely this recognition. It is a tribute to political courage, reconciliation, wise leadership, and a vision for the future.
The award honors her work in building friendship, diplomatic ties, and reconciliation between the two nations, especially after Timor-Leste restored its independence in 2002.
Para pemimpin dan seluruh rakyat Timor-Leste yang selalu saya cintai. Saya tidak menyangka bahwa
to the leaders and all the people of Timor-Leste, whom I've always loved, I never thought I would receive this, the Grand Collar of the Order of Timor-Leste. Allow me to express one heartfelt word.
Thank you very much. Terima kasih.
Ms. Soekarno-Putri served as Indonesia's president from 2001 to 2004 and attended Timor-Leste's restoration of independence on May 20, 2002.
It was during Ibu Megawati's mandate that the foundations of the friendship that today unite our two countries were consolidated. This may be one of democracy's greatest achievements.
Both leaders hope the recognition serves as a lasting reminder of the deep friendship the two nations have built together.
May future generations of Timorese and institutions continue to preserve and strengthen this shared heritage of friendship, mutual respect, and cooperation that we have built together.
I don't accept this honor as the end of a story or as a sign that our work is complete. I accept this as a beginning. This is a mandate for the future, and at the same time, it's a promise of what we, as Timor-Leste and Indonesia, have yet to accomplish.
For Megawati, the award is more than just a medal.
It's a link in a chain that connects the most important things. Each link supports the next. For me, that's where the friendship between Indonesia and Timor-Leste is understood, as a chain that must continue to extend from one generation to the next, never breaking.
Meanwhile, civil society leaders are hoping Megawati will use her political influence back home to help Timorese survivors and victims' families get answers.
There are many things we would like to get from Megawati's visit this time around. One is how she can contribute through her party by raising certain issues in Indonesia's parliament to help locate and return the remains of our former president, Nicolau Lobato, which have still not been found.
Timor-Leste's Commission for Reception, Truth and Reconciliation estimates 18,600 people were killed or disappeared during the Indonesian occupation. With Megawati now back in Indonesia, all eyes remain on how this celebrated friendship translates into future cooperation. Vicky Madera, Orlandino Paseco, RTTL World News.
While Timor-Leste's constitution protects all citizens from discrimination, many works of the LGBTQIA+ community are still experiencing intolerance and violence in their daily lives. At this year's Pride March, human rights advocates returned to the streets of Delhi to reaffirm their fight for equality and inclusion.
A vibrant march for diversity, dignity, and recognition took over the streets of Delhi last weekend as activists demanded equal rights and visibility.
I think we could see there's a lot more visibility, more people are talking about it, but obviously there's still so much discrimination and there's still a lot of issues for sure.
In a nation that fought for its own freedom for decades, a new generation is now fighting for theirs.
We have seen that our founding fathers, they had so much courage fighting for this country, and we want the young generation to also have the same courage to stand up for human rights and inclusion for all people.
When we first started marching for diversity, we honestly feared that society wouldn't accept our community or acknowledge our existence. We were afraid of the dangers, but then we remembered how our parents fought for equal rights for everyone.
The theme of the 2026 Pride celebration was courage, calling for everyone to have the courage to accept the people they love despite their differences. Children of the country's great freedom fighters joined the movement.
Today, we need courage to hold hands. We need courage to accept all our differences and need courage to see the value in other people. Courage to ensure that the sacrifice that our old generation did is not wasted, but a foundation for a better Timor-Leste.
We are all here to build Timor-Leste, which is not defined by its past, but its power to show compassion and love for everyone and leave no one behind.
While visibility in public spaces has improved, many individuals still face discrimination, stigma, and violence in their daily lives.
I often get called names like Panlero. We are called this name all the time when we walk on the streets, but we ignore them because they don't know.
The Ombudsman for Human Rights and Justice is committed to standing alongside minority groups like the LGBTQIA+ community.
Our Constitution protects the right of every citizen, despite of different gender, and also we have the equal treatment to the citizens without discrimination, gender discrimination or sexual orientation. So that's by Constitution it's protected. Now by behavior, by attitude, that may remain a long struggle for us.
The good thing is that we actually started to talk about it, and not only at the community level but also at the state level. Having the president marching with us, I think it's really impactful.
International volunteers living in Timor-Leste also showed their support for the Timorese LGBTQIA+ community.
I think Timor-Leste, being such a young country, having such a great open LGBTIQ plus community is a great thing, and I'd like to see it continue to grow into the future.
I would say be yourself and always be proud of yourself, and always never be ashamed of who you are, and always try to support the people in your community that want to be there in the community and show who they are.
As the fight towards inclusion, solidarity, and hope continues, the ultimate goal remains clear: a nation where people live side by side and support each other. Pauline Quintown, Judas Magno, RTTL World News.
South Korea has become one of the most important overseas employment destinations for Timorese workers, offering almost 6,000 opportunities through its employment permit system since 2009. Timor-Leste's ambassador to the Republic of Korea, Antoni Disa Benevides, joined me from Seoul to discuss how the embassy supports Timorese workers and what both governments are doing to improve safety in high-risk industries. Ambassador, what role does the embassy play in preparing Timorese people for work in South Korea?
Mr. Jerry, in fact, the role of the Embassy of Timor-Leste in the Republic of Korea is not to prepare migrant workers for employment in Korea. That is the primary responsibility of CFOPE. Once all the administrative procedures are completed in Timor-Leste, the workers depart for Korea. Once they arrive here in Korea, the embassy has the opportunity to meet them during the induction period. The induction period is conducted by Human Resource Development of Korea. This will be conducted for 3 days. And during this session, the embassy, we provide information on Korea regulation, immigration laws, and other important matters related to the employment and contracts. Our goal is to help them better understand the rights and responsibilities.
What protections and benefits are Timorese workers entitled to while working in South Korea?
Timorese workers, and same as other workers from other countries, all are protected by South Korean labor law. They have the right to receive at least the minimum wage, work in a safe environment, receive health and accident insurance, and they have also the right to report unfair treatment or unpaid wages to local authorities.
How does the embassy ensure employers comply with Korean labor law safety standards?
This side, the embassy, embassy cannot enforce Korean labor laws, however, we help our workers to report and then communicate with Korean authorities and support workers if their rights have been violated. But as I mentioned, from our side, the embassy cannot enforce Korean labor laws.
There are concerns about Timorese workers not having necessary skills required to work in high-risk sectors like the fishing industry. How do South Korean employers prioritize physical safety skills like swimming versus standard Korean language proficiency when selecting Timorese workers from the talent pool?
Sure. For Korean employers, proficiency in the Korean language is typically one of the most important requirements, as workers must be able to understand workplace instructions, communicate effectively, and comply with safety regulations. In the fishing industry, employers also place considerable emphasis on candidate physical fitness, practical work experience, and ability to perform demanding tasks in challenging environment. And this is a task that CFOPE, our government, need to focus on that as well. We need to prepare qualified workers before they depart for Korea. So we need to increase the knowledge and the skills and also the attitude of our workers.
Since Timorese workers started working in South Korea, 19 deaths have been reported, with most of the work being sea-related. What have Timor-Leste and South Korea done to improve the working conditions and safety of these workers?
Aside from our government, from CFOPE's side, I think Timor-Leste, CFOPE has expanded pre-departure orientation to include occupational safety, workers' rights, emergency procedures, and cultural adaptation. And from South Korean side, South Korea has a strengthening workplace safety through reforms to the Occupational Safety and Health Act, the Serious Accidents Punishment Act, and the roadmap to zero fatality at work, which emphasize employer responsibility, mandatory risk assessment, safety inspections, and worker participation in safety management.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, for talking to RTTL World News.
Thank you very much, and greetings to all you. God bless you. Thank you very much, Mr. Jerry.
In international news, the largest youth football tournament in the Southern Hemisphere has kicked off in bitter winter conditions in Canberra, Australia. Teams have travelled from across Australia and overseas for this year's Kanga Cup.
They're a long way from home, and for these Indonesian players, visiting Canberra has been a baptism of mud.
It's hard to play in the cold weather because I'm not used to it.
We came from a tropical country, and I think we must adapt really, really fast.
It's all part of the experience at the annual Kanga Cup.
Just muddy, wet, just not good at all. You can't really play to your best ability.
We just come from the snow, a couple of days in the snow, so we just wear the same clothing.
Long johns are essential.
Is it worth it to watch your granddaughter play?
Of course it is.
This year's tournament is capped at 349 teams.
If you're looking at just registered people, that's about 5,500. So you can then expect to add on those parents, carers, siblings even, so upwards of 10,000.
It's just full of team building and bonding and families.
It may be a junior competition, but these conditions would challenge even the most seasoned of players. It's cold, wet and muddy, and the apparent temperature is about 1 degree. But the game must go on. There's still plenty to smile about.
First game 5-0, so happy about that win.
Hoteliers are winning too. The city is hovering around 80% occupancy.
This is a really good boost for our industry, both accommodation and food and restaurant industry. Otherwise, there's often not a lot of people travelling to Canberra during the winter holidays.
Kicking goals on and off the field.
In the age of dating apps, some young people are turning back to more traditional ways to meet a potential partner. In South Korea, which has one of the world's lowest birth rates, a Buddhist temple is hosting a blind date retreat for young singles, hoping to meet their match.
Under the watchful gaze of a goddess of compassion, hopeful singles are taking a leap of faith. Young men and women lead their partner towards a gate that legend says makes dreams come true, like finding their soulmate. Away from dating apps and instant messaging, this trust exercise takes place on the hallowed grounds of the 7th century Naksansa temple.
Getting to know people in a temple is a completely new experience for me, which feels really fresh, and I think it allows me to get to know someone more seriously.
Instead of speed dating, 10 randomly matched couples don temple uniforms and spend 2 days sharing tea, strolling through the woods, and completing shared tasks to see whether sparks fly.
Since this is a program in a temple, I figured more decent guys who were selected would be coming here.
Since 2023, the Korean Buddhist Foundation for Social Welfare has run these retreats to help bring the nation's singles together. And they've been popular. Only 20 singles were chosen from a record 4,200 applicants this year.
Since the 20 of you here were selected from among all those earnest applicants, I hope you join this program with sincerity and bear fruit.
Although South Korea's fertility rate marginally increased last year, it's still not enough to maintain the current population. By 2072, the government estimates the population will shrink by a third. That's leading some to seek more creative solutions.
When I was little, my parents brought me to the temple whenever they couldn't handle me. It would calm me down, so I think it's a good place where you can communicate with a calm mind and in a respectful way.
At the end of the retreat, the foundation said half the couples successfully matched, giving dating apps a run for their money.
And now tomorrow's weather, starting with Delhi. Sunshine, a few clouds, and an afternoon shower. A top temperature of 31 and a low of 22 degrees. Some sunshine in Bhopal, becoming cloudy in the afternoon with occasional rain. Temperatures ranging between 28 and 19 degrees. In Loktem, partly cloudy with scattered showers. A high of 27 and a low of 20 degrees. Mostly cloudy in Bobonaro with occasional rain in the afternoon. A top temperature of 26 and a low of 16. And in Eleu, partly sunny and pleasant. Temperatures ranging between 24 and 14 degrees. Now looking abroad. In Kupang, breezy at times in the morning, otherwise sunny. A high of 31 and a low of 23. Partly sunny in Bali with a couple of showers in the afternoon. Temperatures ranging between 31 and 21 degrees. In Jakarta, partly sunny with a couple of afternoon showers. A top of 34 and a low of 24. Humid in Seoul, sun and areas of high clouds in the morning, followed by considerable cloudiness. A high of 31 and a low of 24 degrees. In Darwin, breezy in the morning, otherwise sunny. Temperatures ranging between 31 and 18 degrees. A steady morning breeze in Sydney, otherwise mostly cloudy with scattered showers in the afternoon. A high of 18 and a low of 11 degrees. In Lisbon, sunny to partly cloudy, temperatures ranging between 29 and 19 degrees. Very warm and sunny in London, with a top temperature of 28 and a low of 17. And in Belfast, pleasant and warm with sunshine and some clouds. A top temperature of 23 and a low of 13 degrees. Thanks for joining us again on the program. RTTL World News will be back with more stories on Sunday. Bye for now.